Name is Mr. Jamar Largo de la Cruz. It's me again. So today we're going to discuss about English for effective communication, course number 1500203. So I'm excited to discuss with you. So bear with me and see you. English for effective communication. So my name again is Mr. Jamar Largo de la Cruz. So welcome again to our discussion today. So this time we're going to, I'll present to you first the objectives. So you're going to understand and use the vocabulary about types of travelers and use and construct the present perfect and simple past, which is already, just, never, still, yet, and recently. You have to listen to the audio about holiday activities and provide answers about the activity, of course. And then, of course, you're going to read the article, cultural exchanges, the trip that it changes my life. Express and experience with enthusiasm, and then you're going to write an informal email. Great. So I think it's clear now for the objectives. So let's proceed now. Unit 5 is actually have you ever? This is talking about travel and experience. Okay? All right. So let's proceed now. For this one, we are going to learn the vocabulary is about um, the language. The vocabulary is about words about types of traveler. Language focus is review of the present perfect and past simple. The listening is listening on the names of the places. Speaking is you're going to express which do you plan to go. And for reading, reading on the passage about the trip that changes life. Writing an email about a travel experience. All right, good. Let's play first. What country am I? So can you guess the country from the emojis? Let's see. All right. Guess the country. That is so correct. Very good. It's China because it's chain plus eight. Sounds like China. Okay. Next. Oh, this one. Correct. Belgium. Good. Next. You. What's this? That's a hard one. It's a crane. Ukraine. Okay. And this one. Correct. It's Iceland. Good job. Correct. Next. Yes, it's Spain because the sound is like paint. All right, thank you. Good job. Let's learn now the vocabulary. So we have here the first word is a thrill seeker. Okay, what is the three? Letter B is history buff. Then number letter C is cultural connector. Then D is eco tourist, and then fun lover. Okay. So look at that one. A thrill seeker is like this. So these are like more on thrill activities like bungee jumping, skydiving. So thrill seeker. It's so thrilling, right? So a thrill, this person likes to take a risk, so they often choose a travel experience that involves extreme activities. So that's what like you can see a while there that I mentioned, like skydiving somehow. That is so thrilling. Or maybe mountain climbing, hmm, or cave seeker. So next is history buff. So when you say history buff, as you can see, look at the photo. I have an idea already with this one. So maybe there are something like archaeology, something. So this person likes to discover, okay, discover history or discover uh, archaeological things in the past that were buried in the land or in the sand somehow. So those things. So these people are discovering history by digging. So these are what they call the history buff. They like to see ancient castles. Cultural connectors, so these are people I think that enjoys meeting local people and they learn from what they see in the local people. Visiting, going to the local areas and then learn from the culture there, see how they live their lives. So that is how I think the cultural connector, which I really like to do too. Next is the eco tourist. So I think these people are often go to remote places where they can experience nature. So they're more into discovering the nature, how to protect the wildlife through tourism. The fun lover, of course. So a lot of us like this, like they love to go somewhere else to have fun. These people choose destinations where there are plenty of festivals, amusement parks, and other types of entertainment. So these are what we call the people who are travelers. We have thrill seeker, history buff, cultural connector, eco tourist, fun lover. So which do you think you are? Are you a thrill seeker? Are you a history buff? Or cultural connector? Do you belong in eco tourist or a fun lover? Hmm. Okay. Great. Thank you. Let's learn now to the language, of course. So we're going to learn grammar today and we're going to learn about simple past versus present perfect. When do we use each tense in English? So use the simple past for action that happened in the past and is over, done, and finished. You have to remember these words. Use the present perfect for action that started in the past, but it's still there true today. Is still true today. So that is our indication, okay? Now, the simple past always refers to an action or situation that is finished. It will never affect the future anymore. It is done. It was done already. The present perfect connects the past and the present. So it is used to show that an action situation in the past continues today or might happen again. Compare the meaning of these two sentences. Sarah lived in Boston for 5 years. Sarah has lived in Boston for 5 years. There are two different meaning for this one. So for the first one, the first sentence uses simple past. The second one, present perfect. Sarah lived in Boston for 5 years, meaning to say she isn't there now. Okay, she lives somewhere else. Sarah has lived in Boston for 5 years. It means to say that she is still continuing to live there. Sarah lived in Boston for 5 years, meaning by using the simple past tense, we mean that Sarah started living in Boston 5 years ago. And then she moved now. She lives in different city like Paris. We don't know where, but she isn't living there anymore. Remember, the simple past is used for situation that is over, finished, and done. Sarah lived in Boston for 5 years, meaning by using the tenses of the verb, we mean that Sarah began living in Boston 5 years ago. Okay? And she still lives there. So remember, present perfect connects the past with the present. Okay? Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Use the simple past with time words like yesterday, last, Saturday, last week, last month, last year, or like 2 years ago, 2 months ago, when I was in 1990, something like that. Use the present perfect with a new word, with the time words like recently, lately, since, so far. Okay? So far this week, this month, so whatever it is. Okay? So that is how you are going to use the simple past and present perfect. So those are the difference between the two. Remember, if you're talking about a specific time in the past, you can use yesterday, last month. You cannot use the present perfect. In this case, in these cases, use the simple past. Practice, let's practice. So do these exercises with your class. So when I was a child, what's the answer there? I I swam a lot. It's a past because I was, okay? So far this week, we have studied a lot. So far this week, we have studied a lot, okay? It still has an effect. Theo has been very sick recently, okay? I had a terrible headache yesterday because he used the word yesterday, okay? It has rained a lot lately. It has rained a lot. Number six, they got married 10 years ago. 10 years ago already. So it is already done. It was already done. I have been to Balboa Park many times. So many, possibly again in the future. And then my family took a vacation last year. It happened already last year. So that's why you have to use took, past tense. Let's answer this one. Yes. I have been last year. I went snowboarding in Colorado. It was really good. Your dad's a real history buff, isn't he? Oh, yes. He has been to Japan and China and is planning a trip to Indonesia. He loves ancient places. What blank traveling teach you? The word is teach. What do you think is the answer here? Yes. What has traveling taught you? May May Meyer said, I have learned to be flexible few years ago. I boarded, okay, the train in Italy, but I didn't mind because saw some beautiful places. Did you go to the theater when you were in London? No, I have visited London 4 times, but I still haven't seen a play. Great, thank you. Oh, complete the sentences with the adverb from the box. We discussed the adverb before, so you're going to use already, still, recently, yet, just. The director Kim Liu has just finished in his Indonesia documentary, and it opens tonight. Number two, he is young, but he has already produced 3 other travel documentaries about street culture. Three, he's been here for 3 days, but he, yes, still hasn't interviewed anyone yet. He's been considering new travel destinations recently, but no decision has been made. All right, let's go to listening now. Write the names of the places and which one would you like to go. Let's listen.
Page 38. Listening. 2. Listen to the conversation. What are Amanda and Walter doing? Choose 2.
This is delicious. I'm glad you found this place.
That's fine with me. It's fun to try food from different countries. It makes me want to travel. Me too. But it's so hard to decide where to go. Maybe we should be spontaneous and just get on a train and go. Well, that's one idea. But maybe we should plan a little bit. How? Okay, I have an idea. How about we play a game? Okay. What kind of game? I'll describe a possible destination without saying the name, and you listen to the details and try to guess the place. Okay. So, do you have a place in mind? Yes. Have we ever been there? No, we haven't. Now, give me a chance to describe it. This place has a river and a very tall building that looks a little bit like a triangle, and it has lots of art. That's easy. You were talking about the Eiffel Tower, so it's Paris, France. Yep. Okay, your turn. Okay, this place is also a city. It's near the ocean, and every year they have a very special festival with lots of parades and dancing. Have we been there? No, we haven't yet, but I hope we can go. Tell me more. Is it New York? Nope. The beaches are much more famous, and so is the festival. Ah, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. This is fun. Your turn. Try to pick someplace harder. Okay. This city also has a river, but the river divides it into two cultures, one on the east and one on the west. That's a hard one. I've never heard of a city like that. Sure you have. This city has been an economic center for centuries, and it's very popular with history buffs. I give up. Tell me. Istanbul, in Turkey. Oh, of course, Istanbul. I've always wanted to go there. I've heard it has wonderful historic neighborhoods and fabulous food. Well, let's put it on the list. Now it's your turn. Why don't you pick a place that isn't a city? Okay. I have an idea, and it's also someplace I want to visit. It's a volcano, but it hasn't been active for centuries, and it's covered with snow. Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. I'd love to go there and see the elephants. Well, that's a thought, but it's not the one I'm thinking of. The one I'm thinking of is on a big island. Mount Fuji in Japan? I know you've always wanted to go there. Yes. Can we put it on the list? Sure. Do you want to take another turn? Yes. This place is in the Pacific Ocean. Tourists take a boat and see islands. Every island has animals, but the animals are all different from each other. Aha! The Galapagos Islands. They are near Ecuador in South America. Lots of interesting birds and creatures.
Yes, thank you for listening. Now let's write the names of the places and which one would you like to go? Yes, the USA is in New York. How about this one? France. Where's that place? Yes, in Paris. Next, Turkey. Istanbul. Very good. Yay. Next, Brazil. Hmm. Yes, Rio de Janeiro. China. Is it Beijing or Shanghai? It's Shanghai. Japan. Is it Tokyo? What is that mountain there? Yes, Mount Fuji. All right, how about this one? Ecuador, Galapagos Islands. And the last one, Egypt. It's the Valley of the Kings. Yay. Let's read now the trip that changed my life. Okay. Here we have here a reading. So this is entitled the trip that changed my life. So what if travel could be more than staying in hotels and visiting famous places? What if you could live with a family and learn skills and help others in this and help others? So in this interview, Nathan King shares his experience with a cultural exchange program that matches students with working vacation. So let's see how Nathan King answers the question. What made you decide to go on working vacation? I have always loved to travel and experience different cultures when I was in college. So I did a lot of backpacking around Europe by myself. I visited the major cities and saw the famous places and museums. It was fun to stay in hostels and meet other travelers, but I've never really got to know a place. I didn't get to know the people either. So after I graduated, I volunteered for a work exchange program that would arrange a homestay with a local family. The trip, where did you end up going? I live with a family in Basque country of Spain, and I helped them take care of their farm. It was a remote area in the mountains, so I was able to achieve both my goals of having a cultural experience and learning skills. I uh, Learning skills. It was summer when I arrived, so I collected eggs, harvested potatoes, and sold vegetables. I also took care of baby goats on the farm, which was very rewarding. Did the experience change your thinking in any way? Absolutely. I have become more conscious of how animals are an important part of sustainable agriculture. For example, we let the goats come into the apple orchards and then they eat the grass under the fruit trees. That meant that we didn't need machines to cut the grass, and the goats had good food and they fertilized the land. Also, the animals provided milk for cheese. What about the cultural experience? It was I could hope for. I remember the first day I arrived. I sat down to some soup with a host family and was so grateful to eat a home cooked meal. I was able to slow down and appreciate the different customs and the way people help each other. For example, when winter came, my host often invited young family for the evening meal. We also stayed warm by talking and laughing. It was really fun. And but also the neighbors saved their firewood and had help with their baby daughter. This kindness had affected my faith in others, one belief in community. In fact, that trip helped me discover my true passion, and I am now working towards a career in agriculture. That's a very nice story, right? Let's answer this question. Uh, by reading the article, why did Nathan choose a new kind of travel experience? Yes, he wanted to learn more about places and people. Correct. What farm skills did Nathan learn when he first arrived? He learned to collect eggs, harvest potatoes, sell vegetables, and take care of goats. What are the benefits of using animals on the farm? Oh, this one. The benefits. Mm. They can cut the grass, fertilize the land, and provide milk for cheese. How did people help each other? Mm. They invited them to their homes so that they could save firewood. How did the experience affect Nathan? Yes, it affected his faith in others and community and made him choose a career in agriculture. Yes, that is correct. Thank you. Now, your task is write an email regarding to your travel experience using the sample. We have a sample here actually. Let's read this one. Hi, Josie. I have the worst touristy ever this spring. Mr. and Mrs. M have never traveled before, and they seem to do everything wrong. So, in your email, you're going to write your experience, okay? Not just the bad experience. You can write your good experience as well. Or you can yeah, if you like, if there is a worst experience that you experience traveling, you can write that one down. So you're going to write an email to someone, just pretend, and then if you have any experiences, then you're going to write like this, okay? So Pete's stores also. Look at the Pete stores. Pete, you have no idea. I've got Mr. and Mrs. Uh, B. They've both been late to the bus every day this trip. Everyone else on the tour has had to wait for them. They've also lost their tickets 3 times already. I've said that we'll got to the responsible for ourselves, but they have behaved like small children. So this is a bad experience. So you can write an email anything like bad experience you experience. So it's up to you, and you can do that actually. Yeah. So good luck for writing. I hope that you can do it, and I know that you can. All right. So just a bad experience. Any travel, not no need abroad. Just travel experience like in your city or one of the cities in Thailand. So, or wherever you are, you can do this one. All right. Great, thank you. So that's the end of Unit 5, and I hope that you learned something for today. And I'm happy to discuss with you again. So, thank you. And again, I'm Mr. Jamar Largo de la Cruz. So, these are the resources, by the way, if you wish to see the materials I use, so you can check this one out. And thank you so much. So, that's all for today, and see you again next time.